Hello, warriors, and welcome back to Battle Art Studios. I hope everyone are doing great so far. And I know it's been a while since my last episode, and that's because since the beginning of the year, I had many health and physical issues, and I even had to get a surgery. Anyways, right now I recovered enough to be able to go back to painting and making videos. So I hope everyone are ready for today's episode. So let's begin. Alright, on today's episode, we will be working on my first combat patrol, and I'm sure the first combat patrol of many of you, the Ultramarines. Now, I know I will have a divided audience about them. Some love them, some hate them. Just be nice and enjoy the game, alright? Everybody is trying to build their own miniature army that represents them. As always, I like to do an unboxing and show how it looks like and the components inside the box. The manual for the assembly of the minifigures and also some decals. And that depends also in which faction you are gonna go with. The decals also change. For this episode, I decided to make two models, the Captain and the Librarian, both with the Terminator armor. I think they look cool, and whether or not you plan to paint these minis for Ultramarines or other chapters, I hope that you will learn something today that can help you in that. So now that we have here our Captain and Librarian, I'm going to prime them and then get them ready for painting. Also, like I said before, I don't like to complicate myself while painting, so I will leave them like this. It allows me to paint better in smaller places around the minis, and I'll put them together as I go. Now, if you can put together the entire piece and paint it like that, then you are a better artist than me. So let's start with the Librarian. First, we are going to paint it with a dark shade of blue. In this case, I use Cantor Blue as a base color for the armor, followed by a light dry brush with Macrack Blue to help highlight some of the details of the armor. Remember, this is a Terminator armor. It's supposed to look like machine, worn out, heavy, but at the same time you have to leave room for the other details. In this case, for the Librarian, the glowing runes showing the psyker abilities of the character. For the glowing effect, I'm using white scar paint for some reason. And to be honest, I don't like it because the paint itself is not smooth and it has chunks in it, and it's a little bit harder to thin down the paint. Anyways, I bought it a while back and I'll use it until it's done. So if any of you have any suggestions which white paint I can get next, please write it in the comment section. I'll appreciate that. So using this paint, I have to thin it down enough to preserve the white paint without diluting it too much. Just keep that in mind. In this case, I'll allow the paint to fill the gaps inside the runes as well as part of the armor. This will help me later to add the glowing effect. And while I'm working on this piece, I will work on the purity seals and scrolls as well. And also some of the details on the armor, such golden skulls and such. And I will add also some earth-shade contrast on the scrolls to give it that look of old. After this, we will use some Bajaros Blue. I think that's how it's pronounced. If I'm mistaken, just please correct me, guys. English is not my first language, and I'm still learning many words, even after 14 years. So, in the same way as the white paint, I will thin it down enough to maintain the blue color, and I will add it over the white paint, kind of like a wash over it, and give that a small glowing effect. Now in the box art, all the lines are showing glowing, and if you can do that, that's amazing. I hope someday I'll be able to do that. But this is just a simple technique that can help you to give some small details without expending too much time on chasing some of the lines or not be able to maintain the paint within the patterns of the armor. Now, using this technique, we will work on the rest of the armor and slowly assemble it. And while I continue with the Librarian and letting it dry, let's switch to the Captain. So, for the Captain, we will dry brush the armor with my cracked blue to maintain that machine dark look. And as I mentioned before, there are out there brushes for dry brushing and stuff like that, and if they work for you, that's great. On the other hand, you can use an old brush like I have here and will help you the same way. Using this dry brush technique, we will paint the areas of the armor that we want them to be blue. So for the cape, a while back I saw this fur painting style randomly on a short video, and I couldn't find it ever again, but I really like it actually, and in my opinion it's actually a great style, so I'm gonna use it for my minifigure. Because this part is behind the body of the character, it will be hard to paint it, so I'll work on it right now while I have the space to do it. And by doing this technique, I will use a very fine brush and different shades from gray to white, as well as some light brown to that style of the fur. Remember, fur is not always the same color, it's many shades combining and to compose one. After this side of the cape is done, I will put the entire figure together, as well as cleaning up some of the armor. I'm gonna cover up some of the blue paint on other parts of the figure. I always do this because when you use paint, it always has a reaction depending on the background color that you have. If you use a bright or white color primer, the colors that you put on it will always look brighter than if you use dark or a black primer. Now, this will also help you for many styles that you want to do in the future for your minifigures. And later I'm gonna make a tutorial on how different colors of primers can affect different styles. Alright, so keep that in mind. Continuing with the Captain, we will be working on the purity seals, scrolls, and even parts of the armor. After some of these areas are done, I'll be applying the decals on parts of the armor. Now, I never understood exactly the position of each symbol or the order. For now, I'm just trying to go with something that will look nice on my character. Next, I'll be adding some more details on the armor with gold paint, as well as some writing on the scrolls, and we'll end up this part with some contrast paint over the scrolls and certain areas just to give that appearance of old. While I continue with the Captain and letting the paint and the contrast paint dry, I'll move back to our Librarian. As you can see, I also added the decals on the Librarian, as well as finished some of the glowing details that the armor has. And any other relics on the character. On that part is a little bit more like what you prefer to do with them. In this case, I inspired just a little bit on the box art. Now, I was going to add part of the Psyker power on the hand, as you see it. However, I ran out of battery in my camera while working on it, so unfortunately I won't be able to show it. But in another episode I'll cover that part. Now, for the battle axe. As always, there are many ways to do it depending on what you want your minifigure to look. This one is just another example of how you can do it, or even improve your current setup. Just a simple metallic color followed by small details on itself to make it look shiny, and I use also red dark paint for the handle. After this, I will add some small metal chips and small metal scratches over the armor to give that appearance of damage, and I'll finish the base of the model by adding some terrain details. If you have questions about it, in my last episode I have a simple technique to make customized bases for your characters. So let's get back to the captain. Now, I will make another episode on how to paint faces and some techniques that you can use. Of course, after I get better at it. But as of right now, I'm just working with what I know. We will also add some metal damage on the weapon, as well as some details on the bullets. And as before, the same method we use for the inside of the cape, we will use it on the outside. First, I painted the entire back with gray, followed by the same small brush technique for the fur appearance, using white paints and some light and dark ochre colors, mostly for decorative details on the cape, and also some gold paint as well. For the base of the captain, we will start with some light flesh paint over the Tyranid and also some dry brushing over the body. This will help me on the next step. Then I'll add purple contrast paint over all the parts that I painted with the light color. These will help to highlight the features of the Tyranid, and finally add some more details on it. After this, I will add some other details on the rock using some dry brushing with some light colors. Again, you can use any color that you think will look the best for your character. And I'll add some metal colors on the leftover shells and finally glue the captain on the base. Oh, and before I forget, for the heating exhaust on the Terminator armor. So for that I start by painting the entire area with white. After the paint is dry, I use a light yellow color over the white. Now here's the trick. While the yellow paint is still not dry, I use orange paint over it and consequently red. This allows the paint to mix naturally over the heating exhaust, giving that look of heat. I like to use this process because it's easier for me, but at the same time I have to do it while the paint is still liquid, because otherwise it won't be the same end result. Now it's time for the power sword. As always, this one is just another way to paint your weapon. I just added some gold and red paint for the details on the handle, and for the blade I use a combination of silver and white metal to give that effect of shine metal. Later I will make another tutorial on different effects for swords and axes. Again, I have to get better at them, but for now this can help. By now most of the figure is done, and we will add some light blue color over the armor for the appearance of fader or chip paint, as well as some metal scrapping effects, and I will add some terrain effects on the base. Also, before I forget, the blood effect on the sword and the tear on it. This was mostly an experiment that I made on the spot, and I used glue and red paint, hoping I won't mess up the whole figure. After it dried, I just added some more dark red paint over the parts of blood, and in my opinion actually gave a great effect on the entire minifigure. Now that both figures are done, let's go and take a look at the result. Alright, well, I hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. Again, if you want to continue supporting this channel, please click on the subscribe button or leave a comment about any other stuff that you might want to see in the future. It means a lot to me to hear from all of you. Thank you to everyone already subscribing, and thank you already everyone writing some comments on the videos. Again, just remember, everyone is learning in their own way, even me, okay? And so I'll see you on the next episode. Bye!